Welcome to the Newsfirst newsroom. We are here tonight to discuss one thing. That is the national procurement process for liquid petroleum gas, or LP gas. Now, we are talking about a deal worth around $2.2 billion. There have been many controversies surrounding the deal. Over the past few months, we have highlighted these controversies. We spoke to Subject Minister Kabir Hashim regarding these controversies. Let's first see what the minister had to say about this.
Shell gas
Based on the agreement signed in 2016, the price set by Shell was $58. The agreement will be valid till it expires. If the new agreement has not been signed, then it is not valid. So there will be a delay in procurement. Because of this delay, we will have to go for spot purchases. The valid purchase for Shell is $58, and we will have to purchase at the same rate. However, the management was able to speak with them and reduce it by $1.
Now, there have been two key allegations that have been leveled throughout this entire process. One is that the person who applied the lowest tender or submitted the lowest tender did not get this process or did not get this tender to supply LP gas. The second is that there was constant interference in the entire tender process. We heard from the minister that 50,000 metric tons of LP gas will be purchased through spot purchasers at a rate of around $57. The minister revealed that they will be buying this from Shell gas. However, interestingly, for the Shell gas to supply $57 a unit or a metric ton, they have earlier quoted $47.50 in the national tender procurement issue. When they submitted a tender to obtain the national tender to supply gas for 2017-2018, the price that they quoted was $47.50. Now, regardless, this is a difference of around $10. So questions rise. Why did we opt to go for Shell gas when there were other companies which we could have bought from a lower price at a lower price? And if Shell gas can provide the national tender at around $47.50, why did they quote a price which is around $10 higher in this instance? We asked this from the minister as well.
There is nothing for the Litro board to approve. The ministry and Litro don't have the power to approve this. There is a national procurement process. This happens from outside the ministry. That is why a technical evaluation committee is appointed by the Public Financial Department.
Public Finance Department.
During the Board of Directors meeting, it says Minister appointed technical committee. This statement was made by Mr. Hapuarachi.
Hapuarachi can
Yes, the minutes are wrong. How can I appoint TEC?
Do you accept that neither the Litro chairman or its board of directors have identified the procurement process clearly?
There might be a mistake in their minutes. That is why a new chairman has been appointed.
Now, there have been some interesting developments with regard to this tender. On the 31st of July, the Secretary to the Ministry of Public Enterprise Development writes this letter to 4 different companies which applied for the national tender. It says that Shell gas has been selected to supply LP gas for the country, and it also notes that this tender is done and dusted. Now, on the 17th of August, the Litro Gas, the board of directors of Litro Gas, have their board meeting, and this tender is discussed during that meeting. Then board member Aruna Sirivardhan raised a number of questions regarding the approval given for this tender, and because of the questions raised by him, they got in touch with Mr. Suren Batagoda, the chairman of the cabinet-appointed procurement committee, to seek clarifications regarding this tender. Now, the board of directors of Litro get in touch with the chairman of the cabinet-appointed procurement committee, and the cabinet-appointed procurement committee chairman says that he is not aware of such a tender. So, if this tender was actually signed by the 31st of July 2017, on which date this letter was sent, Mr. Suren Batagoda should have known about it. Then, Now, these questions and the responses given by Mr. Suren Batagoda are well documented in the minutes of the meeting of the Litro Board of Directors. Let's see how the minister responded to this allegation.
It is the board of directors at Litrogas who are saying that there is an issue in the process. When the board of directors gathered, there was no letter. They say the letters are with the minister. So that means you have interfered.
Can I again speak to you in English because you understand English better? Right? Basically, what has happened during a board meeting and a conversation that took place, which I am not privy to, right, is something that I can't answer. I was not at the board meeting. But there is a legal system and an established procedure for tenders. It cannot go outside that. So whatever the director board has spoken and whether they have had arguments between them is something else. If at all, if somebody says that I have intervened unduly, I need to have proof of that.
Now, the allegations being raised in this regard are being levelled by the board of directors of Litrogas. Litrogas comes under Minister Kabir Hashim's purview. So if the minister wants to clear this up, he could clearly take action against the board of directors as it comes under his purview, or he could call the board of directors with him, have a media briefing or a public debate and clarify this entire issue. Gas prices have gone up, but all we are highlighting these issues is because of one reason. That is because there may be people in the middle who are trying to benefit of these transactions. And because of that, we are highlighting these irregularities. Newsfirst, of course, will continue to keep an eye on such transactions. Joel, it's back to you.